You know you want something different. And you have also given yourself the permission to want more because you watched our last video and we talked all about that. But now what? You're stuck in wanting more, but not being able to actually move on. You've been scrolling more about the things that you're interested in. You are checking out other people's profiles. You are thinking of your action plan and you've been maybe talking about it with your friends, but you somehow found yourself in this space where you are just stuck. Like the handbrake in your car is pulled up and somehow you just can't seem to move forward. That is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about why this happens because you are not lazy or scared. There is just so much more going on that I feel like a lot of self-help gurus or a lot of self-help materials just don't seem to address them as a whole. So first things first, I want to talk about the 3 types of stuckness that I've identified. And the first one is what I call the fog. And this is when you are saying, I don't know what I want. It's like you've already know that you want something different, but you still can't name it. Every option still feels very unclear. Like you know you want to quit your job, but you don't know if you still want to stay in the same industry because you've been feeling very unfulfilled in this job. But is it because of the people or is it because of the job scope? Like, is it because of the industry? Like there is a lot of unknown that you haven't tackled and understood much about yourself yet. And so you just keep on waiting for this like lightning bolt moment to give you clarity. But I'm sorry to tell you, that's not how things work. And entering the second type of stuckness, and that's what I call the freeze. And this is when you are saying, I know what I want, but I cannot move. So this is when you probably already have an idea of what you want to do, or maybe you even already have a plan. You've been thinking about it, you've been researching about it, and you already know what is the next step that you have to take. But somehow, every time when you are moving towards the action, you just freeze. Your body just shuts down. Maybe it is perfectionism. Maybe it is analysis paralysis, making you just end up procrastinating everything that you are doing. And somehow whenever you want to take action, you just feel this sense of exhaustion and resistance that keeps you stuck. And the third type of stuckness is what I call the fracture. And this is when you are saying, I want too many things. You want a career change. You are thinking of starting a side hustle or a social media project. You want to have a healthy lifestyle and you want to have better relationships with your partner. And so you are overwhelmed by all the different areas that needs your attention. And you end up doing nothing because you can't seem to do everything and you just remain stuck. Now, I want you to pause and ask yourself, which kind of stuck are you right now? Are you type 1, the fog, that you don't know what you want? Or are you type 2, the freeze, where you know what you want, but your body just can't seem to move? Or are you type 3, the fracture, where you want too many things? And as you are typing in the comment section below right now, I will let you know that I am without a doubt type 3, the fracture, because I want way too many things. And that is why it took me so long to get to this stage of my rebuild, because in the last few years, I felt like I focused a lot in the foundations, in building the lifestyle and habits and systems to help me live healthier physically and mentally, and also to help me build better relationships with the people around me. And now I'm finally entering like the career and finance part. But that's where I was. I'm really looking forward to see your comment to know which type of stuck you are. Now, in this next section, I want to talk a little bit more about why I think the tip to quote unquote just start doesn't work for us women in our 30s or our 40s. And that is because things are no longer the same as when we were in our 20s. And I want to talk a little bit more about that because as I was hanging out with 2 of my friends who share really similar backgrounds and life values, as we were chatting, I realized that things are quite different when you are in your 30s versus in your 20s. And I remember just being like a big sister talking to them and being like, you know, this is what my friends are facing. This is what I'm facing. That's why it's so different now in your 30s. Like I was definitely in my big sister mode. And here are the 3 things that I feel why things are different now. Number one is as you are enter your 30s, you have real consequences now. When you are in your 20s, you are kind of like a baby or a toddler in adulthood. And people are usually more forgiving when you make mistakes in your 20s because your 20s are meant for you to explore and make mistakes and to know what you want and what you don't want. And by the age of 30, you have somehow accumulated this life experience and also just more responsibilities that maybe you already have a house loan to pay or a car loan to pay or a more expensive rent because you are making more money. So you upgraded your lifestyle to be closer to the city. So you probably have more responsibilities. And on the other hand, career-wise, you probably has also risen in the corporate ladder. Like you no longer are holding a fresh graduate or a junior position that you've somehow worked your way up to a fancier job title with a higher salary. So there is less room for error right now in your 30s. And so internally, like your brain knows this. That's why it keeps you stuck as a form of protection because there's just so much more at stake now. You have real consequences now. The second difference that I notice as we get older is that we carry more and more invisible loads as well. Especially for us women, we tend to think a lot more. We worry a lot more about what people think. So we also carry this emotional labor to take care of everyone around us. And as you get older, when you have your household, like we carry the mental load to also make sure that we are taking care of our home, of ourselves. And for many of us, we are stepping into caregiving roles, whether it's to take care of your aging parents, or maybe it's your kids, or maybe it's your nieces and nephews. Like as we've gotten older, we've just naturally been assigned the role as a caregiver because that's how it's like to be living in a community. And there's also your job to be worrying about. There's also money. And now you're supposed to be figuring it all out. Like no wonder we are stuck because we are so exhausted. Like our mind has so much to think about, to worry about. And another thing that I feel like it's different now as we get older is that we've gathered evidence that maybe we are not good enough. And I'm coming from a space of love and, not being judgmental at all because I do not really believe in failure. But I get it that maybe you have tried something when you were younger and the result wasn't good. Like it didn't turn out the way that you wanted things to be. And you start to feel afraid to try it again because you feel like maybe you're just not meant to be or you're just not suited to do what is it that you wanted. Like maybe you are just not good enough. It doesn't help that our brain is designed for survival and it wants to keep us safe. So it would probably register our past failures as failures and not wanting us to try again, so we remain stuck. I guess what I'm really trying to get to is that being stuck, it's really a multifaceted problem. It's not just a mindset problem. It's not just a habits problem. There's a lot more to it. And personally, as I dive into my rebuilding season, or in a fancier term, I like to think that I am reclaiming my life in my 30s. As I get into this journey, as things get very uncomfortable, here are the four main pillars that I've identified that as long as you are able to address all four of them holistically, you will be able to break free from stuckness. You will be able to move forward in your journey. And these are the four pillars that I've identified: your mind, your body, your systems, and your community. I'm just going to quickly touch on each of these four pillars because I think it's so important for you to know the relationships between them and how by just being able to identify them, it will really help you to get unstuck or have a better idea on how can you approach your thoughts and your actions moving forward. So for your mind, you really want to be able to shift your mindset, and not just that, you also also want to build mental resilience. I feel like if you are someone who listens to the podcast, you are someone who consumes self-help content. So you've probably read a lot of books about the mindset shifts that you need to have to really get rid of your limiting belief. But another thing that a lot of people forget to work on is the mental resilience part. It's when you need to push yourself further from the capacity that you already have. Because naturally, when things get stressful, in your mind, you might start fear. You might start feeling that it's too hard for you to move forward. And I find that when you are able to build your mental resilience, when you are able to expand your capacity to handle stress, it really makes things easier for you to move forward, to push through boundaries and do something different for your own growth. Now, secondly, is your body. You really need to be able to find safety in your nervous system. Now, because growth means doing things differently. Growth means getting out of your comfort zone. So naturally, the things that you need to do for growth would probably be deemed as danger by your brain because it is trying to keep you doing the same thing to stay safe, but growth means doing things differently. So you really need to be able to train your nervous system to tell your body that this change is actually not bad, that this change is actually for the good. And you want to be able to help yourself calm your nervous system down as you face these new differences, as you face these challenges. Now, the third thing that a lot of people are missing in their personal growth journey is their systems. So what will help you to move forward is to actually have small, actionable, sustainable steps to move forward. A lot of time when we think of growth, we think of the big picture that we want to have, we think of our big vision, we feel like it's so far away that we ended up just being paralyzed. We ended up just procrastinating because it feels so far away. There's so much resistance. And what you need is to have a system that help you to break things down to see that actually you don't need to focus on that distant goal. You just need to focus on your next 3 baby steps that can move you forward. And as you move forward, you will build evidence for yourself to show yourself that, hey, you are capable of moving forward. You are capable of getting closer to where you want to go and to really close the gap between your reality and your dream. So system part is something that I feel like is what helped me to really build my lifestyle around health and wellness. And that's the part that has helped me to move forward from where I was when I was just working full-time corporate to building my podcast on the side and my coaching practice on the side and slowly entering full-time. So that's definitely helped me. And I would say that the final component, community, is something that you probably already know that you need. You need a support system to help you to get far in your life, in your career, in whatever it is that you are doing. Because when you are trying to do everything by yourself, you are only limited to your own brain power and your own energy level and your own capacity. But when you collaborate with other people, when you build your support system of people that really gets what you're doing and can be there for you when you are going through tough moments, to pick you up and to accompany you as you are moving forward in the tough times, like it really make things a lot easier. So these 4 things that I mentioned, your mind, your body, your systems, and your community, they are what is going to actually help you to get unstuck. And over the next couple of weeks, I am going to break it down more for you. Now, I have a little bit of a homework for you, and that is before next week's episode, I want you to do something. I want you to reflect and ask yourself these 3 questions, okay? Question number 1 is I want you to identify what type of stuck are you. Are you the fog? Are you the freeze or are you the fracture? You should have already commented at the bottom of the post right now. If not, you can do it right after this episode. So that's the first question. The second question that I want you to ask yourself is, what would be different if I could move forward, even if it's just 1%? What would be different if I could move forward, even if it's just 1%? And the third question that I want you to ask yourself is, what's one tiny experiment I could try this week? What is one tiny experiment I could try this week? Now, just take it as a simple reflection for yourself. You can ask yourself as you continue to drive or do your laundry, or you can ask yourself when you are taking your shower. It's just a good question for you to reflect on so that it helps you to get closer to the answer that you are looking for. I feel like a lot of time when we feel stuck, it is because we have been allowing all the noises from around us, whether it's from the people around us or from the negative voices in our head. We let them consume us, and we don't allow ourselves the space to just get curious about this information we are being fed. So I want to encourage you to get curious about your thoughts and to challenge yourself on all the things that you felt like it's stopping you from moving forward, and to just think more about it. And if you've reflected about it and if you would like to share with me, I would love to hear it. Feel free to DM me on my Instagram or whatever platform it is that you've been connecting with me on. So that's pretty much all that I have for you in this episode. I really am enjoying diving deeper into this series of getting stuck and rebuilding our life in our 30s. I think I'll be focusing a bit more on the nervous system part in my next episode. So be sure to stay subscribed and to tune into it. And if you think that this episode is something that can help a friend to get unstuck, be sure to share this video with them. I'm honestly still at a stage where I'm trying to build this podcast as a platform, and my goal is to really help more and more women who are just like me to get unstuck and to rebuild a life that feels aligned and true to yourself. So whatever effort it is that you are doing, whether it's in commenting my post or sharing my post or giving a 5-star rating on Spotify or giving a thumbs up on YouTube, every single effort helps. And I really appreciate it when you do it. And that's all that I have for you in today's episode. And I will see you in my next episode. Goodbye.